All right, we're here with actor and singer Ronny Mercedes. He was just recently on an episode of Blue Bloods, but he also is a member of a very popular band in Europe, Voz A Voz.
Voz A Voz.
What would you like to talk about first? Do you want to talk about your acting and what came first, or your singing actually came first?
Well, like long walks on the beach. I'm just kidding.
Like long walks on the beach, white roses.
I guess I started singing at the age of 3, about 3 or 4, as long as I can remember, like actually speaking, both in English and in Spanish. And I started performing in front of an audience when I was about 7, and started doing it professionally right at high school at the age of 14, where I met my manager, my current manager, Karen Poser with KP Management, big shout out. Basically it was just to do a demo, and with the hopes of getting a record deal. However, she was a talent rep as far as acting, and has had a lot of success here in New York City with her actors. And so basically one helps the other. That's kind of like how it happened, idea, High School Musical. And so I started auditioning, and then from there, we just started booking work. We started booking a lot of work, and as far as acting, and from there I branched out as a commercial actor, musical theater. I did
Here in New York, or
here in New York,
everywhere, yeah.
In New York, and from there, I ended up doing 3 films. One in Puerto Rico, one in called Maria, another one called Tiny Dancer. I wasn't the Tiny Dancer, by the way, but it was Tiny Dancer. And my most recent film was Trouble in the Heights.
Okay.
And so I also did some Law and Order.
Every New York actor.
Right.
Pedigree.
Yeah. It's like you can't call yourself a New York actor
unless you're on one of the Law and Orders.
I mean, no. With all due respect, I'm just kidding. But,
no,
it's basically one of the things that I said. I'm a New York actor. I need to be on Law and Order because come on. And so from there, also One Life to Live.
What did you do on One Life to Live?
This was both in 2007 and 2010.
Okay.
And it was a great experience. Definitely great for the resume. And
soaps are tough.
Right. But it was so much fun. And I got to meet a lot of amazing actors. Aside from that, I didn't have a formal training at the time. I went to Professional Performing Arts High School, but I was a vocal major here in New York City.
Yeah.
Same school where Alicia Keys graduated. I believe Britney Spears attended for a little bit, and as well as Lee Thompson Young, who, God rest his soul, just passed away not too long ago in California, known as the famous Judge Jackson, and a few other things from there. Bottom line is that I started learning from my peers, and then over time I started taking some acting classes as well, and it definitely shaped me up a little bit. It was definitely great. I recommend anyone who's an entertainer to definitely take a course, whether it's dance, whether it's acting, whether it's music, take a course. But it was great. However, I got signed to Sony after high school. I got signed as a soloist, and maybe because it wasn't the right time or whatever, but basically the album never came out, and after 2 years of the contract expiring, I ended up auditioning for the Latin version of American Idol, which is called Objetivo Fama under Univision, which was an international show, nationwide really, but predominantly living out in Puerto Rico. So it's like the real world meets American Idol, where they get like 10 guys and 10 girls
all in one house together.
All in one house. Every week you get eliminated. I made it as a semi-finalist. And no TV, no cameras. I mean cameras, of course, everywhere. No TVs, no telephone. You weren't allowed to go to the stores. You weren't allowed to leave. It was a beautiful mansion, 10 guys, 10 girls, and cameras 24/7. So it was a great experience. It definitely brought exposure for me, and then from there got re-signed to Sony under another subsidiary label, and pretty much under Voz A Voz. That's how I got into the group, and since then we've been recording. The group so far has it's about to be our 4th album, Destiny. and we've been able to, by the grace of God and thanks to the audience who's already accepted Voz A Voz before I joined the group, because they were already formed. They came out of the Dominican Republic, and one of the guys ended up leaving, but at the time they were already nominated for 2 Billboards and a Latin Grammy. And so the fan base was already there. The travel dates, I just like happened to walk into it, which is great. And within the group, I've been with them almost going on 5 years now. 5 years, yeah. And so it's been an amazing experience. We were able to head out to a lot of the parts of the United States. Furthest south I've traveled was Aruba, Hawaii, Alaska, Switzerland, Germany, Spain, France, Italy, and hopefully now in the spring, Japan.
Wow, that's
so,
you've been pretty much everywhere.
Trying.
Do you, how hard is it for you to juggle the acting and the singing when you're part of a group?
It's pretty tough to juggle at times, especially because when pilot season comes and you know, all the time I get asked, you know, but what do you like more, acting or singing? And I think it's 2 different art forms, and I respect them both differently. I love them differently.
Do your bandmates live here?
Yeah, they live here.
They live in New York.
Okay. Whenever we're here, I guess, and I know that we're going to be here, I just tell my agent, listen, I'm going to be here for a period of about 2 months or 3 months or 4 months. Or our shows will usually be like in the weekends. So if it's local, however, we do get a heads up. Like, for example, I know that in the spring I'm going to be traveling, so I'll let them know for how long. Don't submit me for any work from this period to this period of time. But you know, they get a little upset at times because it's not the same representation. You know, I'm a KPA management under About Face, and just recently we signed with a company called Lose Records, which is they're really huge in Mexico, really huge in Latin America in general. They've had a few successes, especially with this band called Original Banda Limon, which are multi-Grammy and Billboard award winners, including other awards. And we just did a duet with them, so that's how we kind of like got the connection with the new label. So that's who's going to be repping us now. So it's like, you know, to juggle them, it gets a little crazy at times. But the great part is that there are always options.
What was it like being nominated for a Latin Grammy? I mean, that's a big deal.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's great. It's definitely great because it's an award where a lot of people in the industry who are either well respected or know a lot about music, or in one way or another, indirectly, you know, they nominate you because they know the quality and the caliber of your work. So, you know, for us, it's just as exciting as when Voz A Voz first was nominated. And aside from that, you know, it also gives the group a higher prestige as far as when it comes to selling the show. Selling the shows, Grammy Award winner, and so on and so forth, contract.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, of course it's gonna.
Or nominee.
No.
Yeah, but hopefully next year.
Yeah. Now you mentioned Destiny. When this is the cover for it, when will it be coming out?
Destiny will be coming out. It's scheduled to come out February 14th, Valentine's Day, or at least the weekend of Valentine's Day. And it's a great album, not because it's mine or because we're in it, but it really is. We write based on feeling, based on emotion, fun, love of music, and basically telling stories. And one of the bandmates who's predominantly one of the main writers, his name is Gio. He's written for so many huge Latin artists. And it's definitely a pleasure to work with him, especially because we're both like on the same page. I know where he's going to go with it. I know where he's what's going to be his intention behind it. So he'll like basically scat something or say, "Hey, what do you think of this?" And I'll say, "Turn on the booth." Getting in there, I know where I want to take this song. So it's really nice to be able to put that into work. And I think Destiny has a lot of that. It's a mix of not just bachata music, but also we do have some R&B, we do have some acoustic ballad, and a lot of soul.
Are you the lead singer all the time, or do
we share parts. I've been fortunate, and thank you to Voz A Voz, to the guys in Voz A Voz and the team for letting me, I guess, expose my talent. And there's actually a few songs where I'm singing the entire song by myself. But basically, it's shared. It's shared work.
What is the strangest fan encounter, or not strangest, but when you're on a concert, do you get things thrown up to you?
Yeah, yeah, you do.
It's not a children's interview. So
yeah, you do.
you can say
There've been the broad occasions, and there's been the I moved. I know it's gonna be on Facebook. Hopefully, no disrespect to anyone, but like I moved from such and such country just to be here, and it's like, well, we're friends. We're friends, and thank you for the support. You know what I mean? Like things like that. But definitely so much love from the fans and all that stuff. And hey, you know, like from one point or another, I remember when I used to be like that about, like, let's say the Power Rangers or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, like it's definitely a nice feeling to be able to relate to their music or an actor or actress.
Who are some of your inspirations?
Musically,
Not the Power Rangers, I would assume.
the Red Ranger. I've always wanted to be
You've
the
always
Red
wanted to
Ranger.
be the Red Ranger. Okay.
Some of our inspirations. Let's see. Musically, Michael Jackson. Definitely grew up listening to a lot of Michael Jackson. Latin artists: Juan Gabriel, Mark Anthony, Cristian Castro. There was one point, and still today, you know, Selena from Selena Los Dinos, Whitney Houston. I thought was an amazing vocalist, and so many Boyz II Men, Brian McKnight, and the list goes on. The list goes on and on and on. Also, world music. I love world music. Like I love Israeli music. There's one band that I'm really crazy about. It's called the Idan Reichel Project, and they're actually my favorite band right now, and that's all I've been listening to. I'm learning a little bit of Hebrew.
What advice would you give to people who are either A, just starting out in the acting industry, B, in the music industry, or they're tackling both like you? 'Cause I mean,
Don't go crazy.
Yeah.
Don't go crazy. My advice for anyone who's starting out in any profession is stay focused. Know what you want. Know what you want. That's the first thing, because you can't go anywhere without knowing where you're going or where you're going to want to go. For actors, it's not. I used to get upset whenever they said, just go for it and have faith. And I'm like, well, how do I start? It's like, you know, get your shots, get your headshots, get yourself out there, even if it's free work in the beginning. Get yourself an agent or a manager or both, and believe. There's some after you have all those things, believe, and I think with faith in God before all things, and faith in yourself, faith in your own project, anything and everything is possible. I believe we're more than just bodies. You know, like you just put it out there. Make a plan in your head and let it come to you and accept it. And as far as singing, it's more or less the same thing. It's a hustle. Every day is a hustle. How can you be better today? For example, I remember at one point when we were dropped from the record label, we took this project in our own hands. And I remember sitting down in front of Facebook, hitting up, okay, where's the bachata festivals in Europe and Switzerland and this and that and the other. And we started sending out messages. Hey, you guys, we play your music out here all the time, so you never know. Just knock on doors, and sooner or later, you're traveling the world and making money and living your dream and believing in it. I've always known. I said, God, I'm not asking for a mansion. I'm not asking for anything materialistic. But the only thing I really want before all things is health. My family's okay. But I want to travel effortlessly, and I want my music to be all over the world. I don't know how it's going to happen or how you're going to line that up for me, but I know it's going to be like that. And I remember I ended up watching in 2006 or 2007, an ex-girlfriend of mine introduced me to The Secret, the book The Secret, and the DVD.
Okay.
And I remember seeing the part of the visionary board. And I sketch as well, so I started sketching out like places that I wanted to visit. What I didn't know was that I sketched out a place that I've always wanted to go to, and I'll actually tag you on Facebook with it. And I basically ended up sketching out this volcano and these palm trees and all this stuff. Little did I know I was sketching out Diamond Head in Hawaii.
Oh, wow.
And when I realized it was last year, 2012, when I was up there, and I took the picture, and I said, wait a minute, this is exactly like the landscape that I drew. So I really believe in faith. I really believe in faith. I really believe that whatever you put out there, you get back. It's not our responsibility to know when it's going to come, but know that it's going to come.
Mm-hmm.
So believe, stay focused, and work at it every single day. Every single day of your life.
What has been one of your biggest obstacles, probably more so in the acting world than in the singing world, that you've had to overcome?
Well, I still face it. I still face many obstacles, but one of the biggest obstacles, I guess, is myself. And in that I mean, when people look at me, they immediately think Middle Eastern, Indian, Bengali. And as soon as I start speaking Spanish, oh, how do you speak Spanish so well? I'm Latino.
Yeah.
My mother's from Honduras, my father's Dominican. That's actually where music flows. It's from my father's side. All my uncles, aunts, grandparents, they were all musicians, and they play everything. But going back to it, it's, like, for example, not only do I have to compete with the best of the best, but at the same time, physically, sometimes I've been for major roles. I'm not gonna, out of respect, I'm not gonna mention which projects, but I made it to like the very end, and I remember it was for a huge TV show, and the director said to me, "We love you, Ronny. By far you had the best audition. Unfortunately, the Anglo market wanted to go with the more Latino looking, not to confuse our audience. So they went with someone who was Hawaiian,
Also not Latino.
not Latino, but can pass for Mexican, or more Latino-ish,
Okay.
more Puerto Rican-ish, more." And I said, "Wow, okay, well, it's fine, it's what it's, you have, it's the industry, and I'm not upset about it. It's showbiz. Same thing in music. Music would I grew up singing a lot of R&B, a lot of gospel, a lot of pop. And I remember I used to be told, you can't do pop, Ronny. You can't do pop because people will look at you and think tropical. They'll think reggaeton. They'll think hip hop." And I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, like maybe salsa. You can probably do salsa. You have a great voice. Don't get me wrong, but it's just a market. And you have to pay your dues." And I'd hear that a lot. You have to pay your dues. You have to pay your dues. And hey, you want to be a singer. It's not just about singing. It's about the industry. So I mean, these are things that I still face. No matter what I learned is that over time, at auditions, I used to go in there like locked. Oh, I'm sure I'm gonna do great, but I'm not Latino enough for the role. And it started blocking me for a little bit. Same thing in music. I started singing a certain way that wasn't commercial pop. It had to be more Bronx swagger or whatever. And I said, you know what? This is all BS. I need to stop thinking this way. Because I'm only getting in the way of myself. I can only be the best Ronny I can be.
Right.
So I started singing the way I like to sing. I started doing bachata music. I used to love dancing it, but never really sung it. But I really loved it because it's like it's a form of music where you can sing as if you're singing a ballad with rhythm. And aside from that, it's also really proud to do it because it's in my blood. It's part of the Dominican culture. And I think every time I get on stage, I represent my family. So in a way, I had to learn how to just become me.
Mm-hmm.
And let go and say, you know what, if you like it, then buy it. If
Right.
you like me, then hire me. And if not, then someone else will.
Right.
So I still face it, but thank God, less and less each time. And as I get older, the more I feel more comfortable within myself to say, you know what, this role is right for me. Or these songs are correct for me, are right for me. And just taking control of it. But it's something that I know I'm going to face as long as I do showbiz. And I'm up for the challenge. I'm up for I have my gloves on and let's go.
I'm ready to fight it out. Ronny, we thank you so much, or I thank you so much for
Thank
sitting
you
down
guys. Thank you.
with me, and it's been a pleasure talking to you. I hope you have a great holiday and
Thank you. Happy holidays
continued
you too.
success in 2014.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, buddy.